and then goes here, and now we do see those Scourge coming in. Looks like, yes, the Corsair goes down and the Overlord is saved. The Overlord does not go down. Another Corsair there being chased by even more Scourge. So once again, Bisu just proven that this build is not good. I mean, if the Zerg player goes for an instant, well, not an instant, but a pseudo instant double expand, he can have Scourge out before the Corsair arrives, and that's crucial. I think that's one of the things. And one Scourge lands on that Corsair, takes down the shields, but doesn't do that much actual damage. Scourge will go down to that cannon as it does, and the shields will recharge, so that Corsair will be mainly fine, only barely scathed. Now going in with the DT, but that's just not wise. He's already been to the bases and seen that there's Overlords at every base. Well, yeah, there isn't one at the top, but he should know that his opponent will be expecting this, and now the Dark Templar is seen, so he will put an Overlord at each base. I mean, I think probably to use a much overused and completely incorrect bit of rhetoric, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, So one of the Overlords is caught out, but no, the Corsair doesn't want that Overlord. It probably wants to get a little bit of the scouting. Looks as if I think those two eggs are. One of the Corsair goes down to the Scourge. Yes, and I was going to say, I think those eggs are a bit too far away to be a regular morph, so we do have lurkers out now. A couple of still regular still regular zealots, vanilla zealots. And that's really interesting on the part of Bisu. Decided to maybe skip, or not skip, but delay going for Psystorm tech and going straight for some Archons. I think that's definitely very wise. That's very good, and that's exactly what Bisu needs to do. What I was saying last night is, to an extent, Bisu's become a victim of his own success, because he's popularised a build so much in a specific style of play against Zerg. Once one Zerg player figures out what a good counter to that is, all the other Zerg players can copy it. So now he's showing some variation in his build order, which is exactly what he needs to do. And that force of Zerglings there stands no chance against that Zealot Archon force. So wonderful play from Bisu there, being really innovative, going for Archons before his usual robotics facility Reaver drop, which he is setting up now. Quite a few cannons going down at this point. Archon getting surrounded, but unfortunately there's just too many Zealots and the other Archon there to be able to do anything for them, and they quite rightly go down. Now we do see the Hive Tech coming up for maGma, so we will probably see defilers and cracklings in the imminent future. Imminent future. I say imminent, it's 2 buildings away, but that's including the Hive as one of those buildings. So loads of lurker eggs morphing here, and I don't think we've actually seen the observatory as of yet for Bisu. He does have a force really near this expansion, so he does actually need to get in there and see. Thankfully he does get in there, see that there's a lot of lurkers coming, so he will crack out lots of observers almost immediately. I think that robo facility will have done warping in, and it does, and in fact even we have the observatory already built, and there is the first observer on the field. Now we have regular High Templars chipping about, so he probably does have Psystorm research by now, but now we have a large force of lurkerlings on the part of maGma moving out. May actually catch this force slightly out of position. One of these forces will not have the upper hand, and it looks like a couple of units going down there for Bisu, moving in now. I'm just so paranoid that we're going to see a storm, and there is the storm, taking down not only some lings, but taking down the Scourge, so the observer is still there, and the lurkers will not be able to reach their full potential. So now, a couple of High Templar and a Zealot there. caught slightly out of position, taking a little bit of shtick from those lurkers, but on the whole they're fine. Now it looks as if moving this Ling force down, maybe even looking for an expansion or trying to take out a slight expansion. One Zealot caught out of position with a huge swarm of Zerglings coming towards it. All really unfortunate for maGma there. It was clearly microing something else and did not see that observer going past one of his Scourge. That would have been a prime opportunity, but it does go in. It looks as if that, yes, the observer does go down, and there are a lot of lurkers in the area. Unfortunately, Bisu does have more observers in the area. Nice Ice Storms going off, trying to take down one of those Archons, but there's just too many Zealots and Archons, and all those Zerglings just getting absolutely ripped to shreds by this mythical Protoss force. So now we have maGma reinforcing his Zergling numbers. He's probably not lost a lot of lurkers, mainly just lost a lot of his Lings, so he'll just be reinforcing with them, moving them into position. He's got another expansion on its way up. Hopefully that won't get discovered. Overlord goes down. And what wonderful, wonderful lurker placement there. That's some definite anti-storm lurker placement. But there is such a large group here. Now we have the Zerglings coming in. As you all know, Cracklings are the bane to buildings everywhere. And now Bisu trying to take this expansion. Got a nice force of Goons, Archons, and High Templar, and unfortunately maGma's having to come in through the bridge, so Bisu can just Psystorm the hell out of that. And this is why Bisu is one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player in the world, because that entire support force is just taken out by the perfect Psystorm placement, supported by, one Archon does go down, but with those Goons, Archons and Templar there, this force will not go down. And although Lings are coming in now, so maGma is probably going to save his expansion. It's not looking good for maGma at all in the long run. Archon there doing itself together, forming and burning. And now once again we see another little force of maGma just caught out of position, just not in ideal placement, being attacked while moving between places. As I'm sure you've noticed by there, we do have the Defilers on the ground, dark swarms going off there, providing some cover. Lurker spines just ripping through those forces, but not many actually dying to this force. And if Bisu wanted, he could actually take one of these expansions. The force he has is greater than his opponent, and maybe he wants to try and take one of the more critical expansions and take some techy buildings, or maybe he just thinks his opponent has more units than he actually does, having to pull back because of those dark swarms and warping another Archon.